The old repair station hung in space like a rusty Swiss Army knife. Its many arms and docks stuck out at odd angles, ready to grab any ship that came close. This was Outpost 42, the last place anyone would expect to find anything special. Jake Wilson wiped the sweat from his forehead as he finished welding a patch on an old Earth cargo ship. He looked at his watch and sighed. It was almost the end of another boring day at this forgotten corner of human space. But then, everything changed. A bright light filled the sky, making Jake shield his eyes. When he could see again, his jaw dropped. A massive ship, unlike anything he'd ever seen, was floating towards the station. Its hull shimmered with colors that shouldn't exist, and its shape seemed to change as Jake watched. "Holy crap," Jake whispered. He fumbled for his comm unit. "Control, are you seeing this?" "Affirmative, Jake," came the shaky voice of Sarah, the station's traffic controller. It's hailing us." Jake's heart raced. First contact. Here, at this rundown repair station. The alien ship came closer, and Jake could see it was damaged. A large crack ran along its side, leaking a strange, glowing substance into space. Suddenly, Jake's comm crackled to life. A series of clicks and whistles filled the air, followed by a robotic voice. "Greetings, humans. We seek assistance. Our vessel requires repair." Jake blinked in surprise. "Bot control. Are we taking this job?" There was a long pause before Sarah replied. "Command says, yes. Guide them to Dock 7. With shaking hands, Jake used his jetpack to float towards the alien ship. As he got closer, he realized just how advanced it was. The material of the hull was like nothing he'd ever seen. It seemed to ripple and move, almost alive. Jake swallowed hard and waved his arms, guiding the massive ship towards an empty dock. It moved with impossible grace for its size, settling into place with barely a sound. As soon as it was secure, a hatch opened. Jake's breath caught in his throat as two aliens emerged. They were tall and slender, with skin that shimmered like their ship. Their eyes were huge and entirely black, reflecting the stars around them. One of the aliens approached Jake, its movements fluid and alien. It held out a device that projected a hologram of their ship, highlighting the damaged area. "Can you fix?" the robotic voice asked. Jake stared at the hologram. The technology was way beyond anything he'd ever worked on. But as he looked closer, he began to see familiar patterns. The crack in the hull, the leaking energy. It wasn't so different from the problems he dealt with every day. Just bigger. A slow smile spread across Jake's face. "Yeah," he said. "Yeah, I think we can fix this." The alien's large eyes blinked, and Jake could have sworn he saw relief in them. Word spread fast. Within hours, every engineer and mechanic on the station was working on the alien ship. They faced challenges they'd never imagined, but with each problem solved, their confidence grew. Jake found himself leading the repair effort, his years of patching up old ships in creative ways finally paying off. He discovered that human ingenuity and the ability to think outside the box were invaluable when dealing with advanced alien tech. As the final repairs were made, Jake stepped back to admire their work. The alien ship looked better than new, its hull gleaming and its energy contained. The aliens emerged once more, their black eyes wide with what Jake hoped was approval. The leader approached Jake and extended a hand in a surprisingly human gesture. "Gratitude," the robotic voice said. "Your skills, unexpected, impressive." Jake shook the alien's hand, feeling a surge of pride. "Happy to help," he said with a grin. As the alien ship prepared to leave, Jake couldn't help but feel that something big had just happened. Humanity had proven itself on a galactic stage, and word would spread. Sure enough, within days, more alien ships began to appear. Some were damaged, some just curious. But all of them came with the same message. They had heard of the humans' repair skills and wanted to see for themselves. Outpost 42 once a forgotten backwater, was suddenly the busiest repair station in the sector. And Jake Wilson, once a simple mechanic, found himself at the center of a galactic revolution. As he watched yet another alien ship dock, Jake smiled to himself. It turned out humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their weapons. It was their ability to fix things, to solve problems, to make the broken whole again. The universe, it seemed, had been waiting for a race of cosmic mechanics, and humanity was more than happy to fill that role. Sarah Jenkins stared at her control panel, her eyes wide with disbelief. Just a month ago, Outpost 42 was lucky to see 1 or 2 ships a week. Now, her screens were lit up like a Christmas tree, showing dozens of alien vessels waiting their turn to dock. "This is getting out of hand," she muttered, running a hand through her messy brown hair. The comm system crackled to life. "Control, this is Jake. You're not going to believe what just showed up." Sarah groaned. "Try me, Jake. I've seen enough weird stuff this month to last a lifetime. Well, it looks like a space whale. And I think it's sick." Sarah blinked. "A space whale? Are you serious?" "Dead serious. It's huge, easily 10 times the size of our biggest dock. And it's making these low, sad sounds. I think it needs our help." Sarah took a deep breath. This was beyond anything they were prepared for. But then again, that had been true for every alien ship that had arrived so far. "All right," she said. "I'll contact the engineering team. We'll figure something out." As Sarah made the calls, she couldn't help but marvel at how quickly things had changed. The station, once a quiet backwater, was now buzzing with activity. Humans and aliens worked side by side, a mix of languages and technologies creating a unique atmosphere of cooperation and innovation. Down in the main hangar, Jake and his team were preparing for their biggest challenge yet. The space whale, a creature that seemed to be made of living starlight, hovered just outside the station, its massive body gently pulsing with soft blue light. Dr. Amelia Rodriguez, the station's xenobiologist, approached Jake with a look of wonder on her face. "I've never seen anything like it," she said. "It's not just a ship, Jake. It's alive." Jake nodded, his mind already racing with ideas. "All right, so we treat it like a living being. We're not mechanics anymore. We're doctors." The team sprang into action. They rigged up a massive scaffold outside the station, creating a space large enough to work on the creature. Using gentle tractor beams, they guided the space whale into position. As they worked, more alien ships arrived. Word had spread about the humans' latest challenge, and many were curious to see how they would handle it. Among the new arrivals was a ship belonging to the Zorax, an ancient race known for their advanced biotechnology. Their ambassador, a tall, insectoid being named Sith, approached Sarah in the control room. "We have heard of your attempts to aid the cosmic cetacean." Sith clicked, its mandibles moving rapidly. "This is most unprecedented. No species has ever dared to interfere with these beings." Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. "Are you saying we should stop?" Sith's compound eyes glimmered. "On the contrary, we are here to observe, and perhaps to assist, if you prove worthy." Outside, Jake and his team were making progress. They had identified the problem: a cluster of dark energy parasites feeding on the space whale's life force. The challenge was finding a way to remove them without harming the creature. "We need to think outside the box," Jake said, pacing back and forth. "These parasites feed on energy, right? So what if we give them something they like better?" Dr. Rodriguez's eyes lit up. A distraction. But what could be more tempting than a cosmic whale? Jake grinned. "I've got an idea, but it's going to sound crazy." Hours later, the station was ready. They had rigged up a massive array of energy emitters, salvaged from a dozen different alien technologies. The plan was to create an energy signature irresistible to the parasites, luring them away from the space whale. As they activated the array, the hangar filled with a symphony of colors and sounds. The parasites, sensing the new energy source, began to detach from the space whale. They swirled through space, a dark cloud moving towards the station. "Now," Jake yelled. Dr. Rodriguez activated a containment field, trapping the parasites. The space whale, free from its tormentors, let out a low melodious sound that vibrated through the entire station. Cheers erupted from the human crew. Even the stoic Sith seemed impressed, its antennae twitching with excitement. As the space whale prepared to depart, it released a burst of vibrant energy that washed over the station. To everyone's amazement, the energy repaired minor damages and left everything gleaming like new. Sarah watched from the control room, a smile on her face. "I guess that's a thank you," she said softly. Sith turned to her, its alien features somehow conveying respect. "You humans continue to surprise us. Perhaps there is much we can learn from each other." As the space whale gracefully moved away, its body shimmering with renewed vitality, Sarah couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge yet, and had succeeded not through advanced technology, but through creativity, teamwork, and compassion. The unexpected influx of alien ships had turned Outpost 42 into something more than a repair station. It was becoming a symbol of hope and cooperation in a vast, mysterious universe. And this, Sarah realized, was only the beginning. The excited chatter of alien voices filled the corridors of Outpost 42. Word had spread across the galaxy about the humans' incredible repair skills, and now the station was busier than ever. Among the crowd, a young human engineer named Zhou Chen pushed her way through, her mind focused on the challenge that awaited her. Zhou reached the main hangar and stopped in her tracks. Before her floated the strangest ship she had ever seen. It looked like a giant, translucent bubble with pulsing veins of light running through it. Inside, she could make out the shadowy forms of its alien crew, their tentacles waving in distress. "What's the situation?" Zhou asked, turning to Jake, who stood nearby with a puzzled look on his face. Jake shook his head. "The Myriad, that's what they call themselves, say their ship is dying. But we can't figure out how to even start repairing it. It's like nothing we've ever seen before." Zhou stepped closer to the bubble ship, her eyes narrowing as she studied its structure. "It's not just a ship," she murmured. "It's alive." As if in response to her words, the ship pulsed weakly, its lights dimming for a moment before flickering back to life. Zhou turned to the alien crew. "Can you tell me more about your ship? How does it usually heal itself?" One of the myriad floated forward, its tentacles forming shapes that were translated by a nearby device. "Our vessel is symbiotic with us. It lives off our thoughts and emotions. But now it's sick. Our sadness is making it worse, but we don't know how to make it better." Zhou's mind raced. This wasn't just a technical problem. It was an emotional one too. She needed to think outside the box. "I have an idea," she said, her eyes lighting up. "But it's going to sound crazy." Jake grinned. "Those are the best kind of ideas around here." Zhou quickly explained her plan. They would create a massive empathy network, connecting the emotions of everyone on the station, human and alien alike, to the myriad ship. The positive emotions would feed the ship, helping it heal. The next few hours were a flurry of activity. Zhou and her team rigged up a complex web of neural interfaces, connecting volunteers from every species on the station. It was a delicate balance of technology and psychology, pushing the boundaries of what anyone thought possible. As the final connections were made, Zhou took a deep breath. "All right, everyone, think happy thoughts." At first, nothing happened. The bubble ship continued to pulse weakly. But then, slowly, the veins of light began to glow brighter. The ship's surface rippled, as if it was taking a deep breath. Encouraged, Zhou closed her eyes and focused on her own emotions. She thought of the joy of discovery, the thrill of solving impossible problems, the warmth of friendship across species. Around her, humans and aliens alike did the same, each contributing their unique feelings to the empathy network. the hangar filled with a soft, warm light emanating from the Myriad ship. Its surface became clearer, the pulsing veins growing stronger and more vibrant. The shadowy forms inside began to move with more energy, their tentacles waving in what looked like joy. After what seemed like hours, but was probably only minutes, Zoe opened her eyes. The bubble ship was transformed. It glowed with health, its surface shimmering with patterns that seemed to reflect the emotions of everyone connected to it. The Myriad disconnected from the ship, their tentacles forming shapes of gratitude. "You have done the impossible," their translator said. "You have healed not just our ship, but our connection to it. We are in your debt." As word of Zoe's success spread, more aliens arrived, eager to witness this new form of repair. Many offered to share their own unique technologies, impressed by the humans' ability to adapt and innovate. Zoe found herself at the center of attention, with aliens and humans alike asking for her insights. But what struck her most was how this experience had changed everyone involved. The empathy network had created understanding between species that went beyond words or technology. As she looked around the hangar, now filled with beings from across the galaxy all working together, Zoe realized that they had repaired more than just a ship. They had started to heal the gaps between civilizations, creating connections that could change the future of the entire galaxy. Jake approached her, a proud smile on his face. "You did it, Zoe. You showed everyone that human ingenuity isn't just about mechanics or technology. It's about understanding, empathy, and thinking in ways no one else would dare to try." Zoe nodded, her eyes shining with excitement for what the future might hold. "This is just the beginning," she said. "Imagine what we could achieve if we approach every problem this way." As the Myriad's newly healed ship prepared to depart, its glow reflecting off the faces of the gathered crowd, there was a sense that something profound had changed. Outpost 42, once a forgotten corner of space, had become a beacon of innovation and interspecies cooperation. And at its heart were the humans, whose unique way of thinking was reshaping the galaxy, one impossible repair at a time. The success of Outpost 42 had not gone unnoticed across the galaxy. As more and more alien ships flocked to the human repair station, whispers of concern began to spread among some of the older, more powerful civilizations. On the distant planet of Exor 7, homeworld of the ancient Zorax, a tense meeting was taking place. The Galactic Council chamber was filled with holographic representatives from various advanced species, their forms flickering in the dim light. High Counselor Vex, a towering insectoid being, clicked his mandibles in agitation. "These humans are becoming a problem," he said, his translator conveying the worry in his voice. "They gained access to far too much of our technology in too short a time." A shimmering cloud-like entity known as Ambassador Nebula pulsed with agreement. "Indeed, the rate at which they're adapting and improving upon our designs is unsettling. They could become a threat if left unchecked." Back on Outpost 42, blissfully unaware of the growing concerns, the human crew continued their work. Jake and Zoe were in the middle of a particularly tricky repair on a Zorax scout ship when an alarm blared through the station. "What's going on?" Jake asked, looking up from his work. Sarah's voice came over the intercom, tight with tension. "We've got a situation. A Zorax battlecruiser just dropped out of hyperspace. They're demanding to speak with station leadership immediately." Jake and Zoe exchanged worried glances. The Zorax were known for their advanced technology and rigid adherence to galactic laws. A visit from them was never casual. In the control room, Station Commander Elena Rodriguez straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. The holographic form of Zorax Captain Clix materialized before her, its compound eyes gleaming with an unreadable emotion. "Greetings, Captain Clix," Elena said, keeping her voice steady. "To what do we owe the honor of your visit?" Clix's mandibles clicked rapidly. "Commander Rodriguez, we have received concerning reports about your station's activities. You are accessing and modifying technologies far beyond your civilization's level. This is a violation of Galactic Law 27B, subsection 12. Alina felt a chill run down her spine, but she kept her composure. With all due respect, Captain, we haven't stolen or misused any technology. We've simply been repairing ships that come to us for help, using our own skills and ingenuity. Irrelevant. Clix chittered. The law is clear. We demand a full inspection of your facility and all repair logs. Any technology deemed too advanced will be confiscated, and sanctions may be imposed on your species. As this confrontation unfolded, Jake and Zoe were listening in from the hangar. They looked at each other, worry etched on their faces. "This is bad," Zoe whispered. "If they take away our tools and the knowledge we've gained, we'll be back to square one. All the good we've done, all the connections we've made, it'll be for nothing." Jake nodded grimly. "We need to do something." "But what?" "We can't fight a Zorax battlecruiser." Suddenly, Zoe's eyes lit up. "Maybe we don't have to fight. Remember how we repaired the Myriad ship? What if we could show the Zorax that our strength isn't in the technology itself, but in how we use it?" Jake grinned, catching on to her idea. "A demonstration. But it'll have to be something big, something that even the Zorax can't ignore." As they brainstormed, more alien ships began to arrive at the station. Word had spread quickly about the Zorax inspection, and many of the species that had benefited from human ingenuity were concerned. The space around Outpost 42 was soon filled with a diverse array of vessels, from tiny personal crafts to massive living ships. Commander Rodriguez, seeing the gathering fleet, felt a glimmer of hope. She turned back to the hologram of Captain Clix. "Before you begin your inspection, Captain, I believe we have something to show you. Something that might change your perspective on what we're doing here." Clix's antennae twitched with curiosity. "Very well. You have one planetary rotation to prepare your demonstration. But be warned, if we are not satisfied, the consequences for your species will be severe." As the hologram flickered out, Alina let out a shaky breath. She opened a channel to the entire station. "All right, everyone. We've got one shot at this. Jake, Zoe, I hear you have an idea. Let's make it count. The future of human-alien relations is in our hands." The station burst into frenzied activity as humans and friendly aliens alike worked together on Zoe's audacious plan. The next 24 hours would determine not just the fate of Outpost 42, but potentially the place of humanity in the galactic community. The stage was set for their greatest challenge yet. The atmosphere on Outpost 42 was tense as the deadline approached. Humans and aliens worked side by side, racing against time to prepare for the Zorax inspection. In the main hangar, Jake and Zoe stood before a strange contraption they had built overnight. "Do you think this will work?" Jake asked, wiping sweat from his brow. Zoe nodded, her eyes filled with determination. "It has to. It's our best shot at showing them what we can do." Their device was a marvel of improvisation, a mix of human ingenuity and alien tech. It looked like a giant, shimmering web made of energy conduits and data streams. At its center was a holographic projector capable of displaying the intricate workings of any ship or technology. As the Zorax battlecruiser loomed outside, Commander Alina Rodriguez straightened her uniform and took a deep breath. "All right, people, this is it. Let's show them what humanity is made of." The hangar doors opened, revealing Captain Clix and a team of Zorax inspectors. Their compound eyes scanned the room, taking in the diverse group of aliens and humans gathered there. "We are ready for your inspection," Alina said, her voice steady. "But first, we'd like to show you something." Clix's antennae twitched with impatience. "Very well. Proceed." Zoe stepped forward, activating the device. The air around them shimmered, and suddenly they were surrounded by holographic representations of various alien ships and technologies. "Esteemed Zorax," Zoe began, her voice clear and confident, "you accuse us of misusing advanced technology. But what we want to show you is that our strength lies not in the tech itself, but in how we approach problems." With a wave of her hand, Zoe zoomed in on a complex Zorax engine. Your propulsion systems are incredibly advanced, but when they break down, your engineers are often stumped because they're trained to think in specific ways. Jake joined in, highlighting a modification they had made. We looked at it differently. By combining principles from 5 different alien technologies, plus some old Earth mechanics, we found a way to not only repair these engines, but improve their efficiency by 23%. The Zorax inspectors chittered amongst themselves, their compound eyes reflecting the holographic displays. Zoe continued, showing example after example of how human creativity had solved problems that had stumped even the most advanced races. She explained how they had created universal translation matrices by combining linguistic algorithms from a dozen species, how they had developed new medical treatments by applying engineering principles to biology. As the presentation went on, more alien ships arrived at the station. Word had spread about the inspection, and many races who had benefited from human repairs came to show their support. A myriad ship pulsed with bright colors as its captain spoke. The humans saved our vessel when no one else could. They didn't just repair it. They helped us understand it better. Other aliens joined in, each sharing stories of how human ingenuity had helped them in unique ways. Captain Clicks remained silent throughout, his expression unreadable. When the presentation ended, he stepped forward. The entire station seemed to hold its breath. "Impressive," Clicks finally said, his mandibles clicking slowly. "Your methods are unorthodox, but I cannot deny their effectiveness." Alina felt a glimmer of hope. "Then you understand that we're not violating any laws. We're simply using our natural abilities to help others." Clicks's antennae twitched. "It is not so simple. Your rapid advancement could still be seen as a threat by some. However," he paused, looking around at the gathered aliens, "it is clear that you have many who would speak in your defense." The tension in the room was palpable as Clicks considered his next words. "I will report to the Galactic Council that while the situation bears watching, there is no immediate cause for alarm or sanction." A cheer went up from the assembled crowd. Humans and aliens alike hugged each other in relief. But Clicks wasn't finished. However, he added, silencing the celebration, "We will be establishing a permanent diplomatic presence here to observe your activities, and we expect full transparency in all your future operations." Alina nodded solemnly. "We understand, and we accept your terms. We have nothing to hide, and we welcome the opportunity to work more closely with the galactic community." As the Zorax team prepared to leave, Jake turned to Zoe with a grin. "We did it. We're not out of the woods yet, but at least we bought ourselves some time." Zoe nodded, her eyes shining with excitement. "And think of the opportunities this brings. With official recognition, who knows what we might achieve next?" As news of the inspection's outcome spread throughout the station, there was a sense of both relief and anticipation. Outpost 42 had faced its greatest challenge yet and emerged stronger. The humans had proven their worth on the galactic stage, not through advanced technology, but through their unique way of thinking and problem-solving. The diplomatic crisis had been averted, but it was clear that this was just the beginning of humanity's journey among the stars. New challenges and opportunities awaited, and the crew of Outpost 42 was ready to face them head-on. Weeks had passed since the Zorax inspection, and life on Outpost 42 had settled into a new normal. The station buzzed with activity, its halls filled with a mix of humans and aliens working together. The Zorax observers, initially viewed with suspicion, had become a familiar sight. Jake was in the middle of explaining an Earth-style welding technique to a group of fascinated alien engineers when the station's alarm blared to life. "All senior staff to the command center immediately." Commander Alina's voice echoed through the station. Jake exchanged a worried glance with Zoe, who was nearby. They hurried to the command center, finding it already crowded with humans and aliens alike. Alina stood at the center, her face grim. "We've just received a distress call," she said, activating a holographic display. "It's from the Ancients." A collective gasp went through the room. The Ancients were a mysterious race, rarely seen or heard from. Their technology was said to be millennia beyond even the most advanced known species. The hologram showed a massive ship, easily 10 times the size of Outpost 42. Its surface was covered in intricate patterns that seemed to shift and move, but parts of it were dark, and arcs of energy sparked erratically across its hull. "Their ship is failing," Elena continued. "They're bringing it here, to us." Zoe's eyes widened. "But why us? Surely there are more advanced stations out there." The Zorax observer, Clicks, stepped forward. "The ancients have been watching. They've seen what you can do. They believe you might succeed where others have failed." Jake felt a mix of pride and terror. "When will they arrive?" As if in answer, a massive shadow fell over the station. The ancient ship had appeared, seeming to materialize out of nowhere. "Right now, apparently," Elena said, her voice barely a whisper. The next few hours were a blur of activity. The ancient ship was too large to dock, so teams of engineers were shuttled over. Jake, Zoe, and a diverse group of human and alien experts found themselves standing in a vast chamber within the ship. The interior was like nothing they'd ever seen. Surfaces shifted and changed as they watched. Streams of data flowed through the air like rivers of light, and at the center stood 3 ancients. They were tall, ethereal beings that seemed to be made of pure energy. When they spoke, it wasn't with words, but with thoughts and images that appeared directly in the minds of the repair team. "Our ship, our home, is dying," the ancients communicated. "A cosmic storm damaged our core systems. We have tried for centuries to repair it, but we are too connected to the ship. We cannot see the solution." Zoe stepped forward, her voice filled with determination. "We'll do everything we can to help. Can you show us the damaged systems?" The ancients led them deeper into the ship. As they walked, Jake noticed something strange. The ship, it's not just responding to them, it's part of them. One of the ancients turned to Jake, a sense of approval emanating from it. "Yes, we and the ship are one. That is why we cannot repair ourselves. We need outside perspective. We need humanity's unique vision." They reached the core, a vast spherical chamber pulsing with energy. But the pulses were erratic, and entire sections were dark. Jake and Zoe exchanged looks. This was far beyond anything they'd ever encountered. But they also saw familiar patterns: energy flows, data streams, even some principles that reminded them of Earth technology. "Okay," Jake said, taking a deep breath. "Let's break this down into parts we can understand. Zoe, you take the energy systems. I'll look at the data flows. Let's bring in experts for each section we can identify." The teams spread out, each focusing on a different aspect of the ship's systems. Humans worked alongside aliens, combining their unique perspectives and knowledge. Hours turned into days. The team worked tirelessly, fueled by determination and the gravity of their task. They hit roadblocks, argued, failed, and tried again. On the 4th day, as Jake was about to admit defeat, Zoe suddenly shouted, "Wait, I think I see it." She quickly explained her theory. The ship's systems weren't failing. They were evolving. The damage was actually the ship trying to reach a new state of existence. "We don't need to repair it," Zoe said, her eyes shining with excitement. "We need to help it complete its evolution." The ancients, who had been watching silently, suddenly glowed brighter. "Yes, yes, we see it now. How could we have missed it?" With this new understanding, the team's work took on a new direction. Instead of trying to force the old systems to work, they began to guide the ship's transformation. As the final connections were made, the ship's core pulsed with brilliant light. Energy flowed smoothly through once damaged sectors. The entire vessel hummed with renewed life. The ancients glowed with joy, their thoughts radiating gratitude. "You have done more than repair our ship. You have helped us take the next step in our own evolution. We are in your debt." As the team prepared to return to Outpost 42, Jake turned to Zoe with a grin. "So, just another day at the office, right?" Zoe laughed, the tension of the past few days finally breaking. Just wait until we file this repair report. They left the ancient ship knowing they had faced their greatest challenge yet, and succeeded. Humanity had proven once again that their unique way of thinking could solve problems that had stumped even the most advanced civilizations in the galaxy. As Outpost 42 came into view, Jake and Zoe knew that this was just the beginning. With each impossible repair, humanity was cementing its place among the stars, one innovative solution at a time. The success with the ancient ship had sent ripples across the galaxy. Outpost 42, once a forgotten corner of space, was now the talk of every advanced civilization. Ships from all corners of the universe flocked to the station, seeking not just repairs, but the unique human touch that seemed to solve impossible problems. 6 months after the ancient incident, Jake found himself standing in a newly constructed observation deck. The view before him was breathtaking. Hundreds of ships of all shapes and sizes orbited the station, forming a colorful, ever-shifting tapestry against the backdrop of stars. Zoe joined him, her eyes wide with wonder. "Remember when we thought a busy day was 2 ships docking?" Jake chuckled. "Feels like a lifetime ago." Their moment of reflection was interrupted by Commander Alina's voice over the intercom. "All senior staff to the conference room. We have some important guests." When Jake and Zoe arrived, they found the room already full. Humans stood shoulder to shoulder with representatives from dozens of alien races. At the center of the room stood 3 shimmering figures, the Ancients. Alina cleared her throat. "Our friends have an announcement to make." One of the Ancients stepped forward, its ethereal form pulsing gently. When it spoke, its thoughts appeared in everyone's minds. "We have observed humanity since our encounter. Your species continues to amaze us. You have taken the knowledge gained from repairing our ship and used it to help countless others. But more than that, you have fostered understanding and cooperation between races that once viewed each other with suspicion." The Ancient paused, letting its words sink in. "Therefore, we have come to offer you a gift. We wish to elevate Outpost 42 to a new status. With your permission, we will transform it into the galactic hub of innovation and cooperation." A murmur of excitement ran through the crowd. The Ancient continued, "This hub will be a place where all races can come together, share knowledge, and work towards the betterment of the entire galaxy. And humanity will be at its heart." Alina, looking slightly overwhelmed, stepped forward. We would be honored. But are you sure we're ready for such a responsibility?" The second Ancient spoke. "It is precisely your doubt, your humility in the face of the unknown, that makes you ready. You do not assume you have all the answers, and so you are always seeking, always learning." The third Ancient added, "Your greatest strength is not your technology or your repair skills, impressive as they are. It is your ability to bring out the best in others, to see potential where others see only problems." Jake felt a swell of pride in his chest. He looked around the room, seeing the same emotion reflected on the faces of his human colleagues. With a gesture from the Ancients, the entire station began to hum with energy. Outside the windows, streams of light enveloped Outpost 42. The metal walls seemed to shimmer and flow like liquid. When the transformation was complete, the station had grown to many times its original size. New sections had appeared, filled with laboratories, meeting halls, and spaces designed for interspecies cooperation. As the assembled crowd marveled at the changes, a new signal came through. The main screen lit up, showing the face of the Zorak's High Counselor. "Greetings, Outpost 42, or should I say, Galactic Hub," the High Counselor said, mandibles clicking in what seemed like amusement. "News of your elevation has reached the Galactic Council. We have voted unanimously to recognize your new status and to offer our full support." Elena, still looking slightly dazed, nodded her thanks. As the transmission ended, she turned to her crew. "Well," she said with a smile, "it looks like we have some work to do." Over the next few weeks, the newly christened Galactic Hub hummed with activity. Races that had once been bitter enemies worked side by side, inspired by the human example of creativity and cooperation. New technologies were born from the fusion of ideas from 100 worlds. Diplomatic tensions eased as species learned to see problems from new perspectives. And at the heart of it all were the humans, always ready with an unconventional solution or a fresh way of looking at things. One evening, Jake and Zoe stood again at the observation deck, watching ships come and go from the hub. "You know," Jake said thoughtfully, "when I signed up for this job, I thought I'd just be fixing broken engines." Zoe laughed. "Instead, we're helping to fix the whole galaxy." As they watched, a ship unlike any they'd seen before appeared. Its design was a beautiful blend of styles from a dozen different races, a physical representation of the cooperation fostered at the hub. "I guess this is why alien ships really flock to us," Jake mused. "It's not just our repair skills. It's hope. Hope that together, we can build something greater than any of us could alone." Zoe nodded, her eyes shining. "And this is just the beginning. Imagine what we'll achieve next." As the strange new ship docked, Jake and Zoe headed off to greet its crew, ready for whatever new challenge the universe had in store. In the vastness of space, the galactic hub shone like a beacon, a testament to human ingenuity and the unifying power of cooperation. Humanity had not just found its place among the stars. It had become the force that brought the stars together.